Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. We are up dead early on another fantastic Friday. My name is Mark Daniels.
And I'm Davriel Gardner, and a happy Friday to you.
Yeah, it is a happy Friday. It's the weather's nice. It's the last day of March.
Yep.
March 31st. The year's just flying by. Soon before you know it, it's Junkanoo time again. Eh?
I can't believe it. I can't believe that we are 3 months done.
Three and done, right? And then the weather is kind of like changing a little bit too. If you look at nature around you, you know, all the pear trees are in bloom, all the moringa, the soursop, sugar apple. Life is abounding. The flowers are starting to come up, which means it's fertile. It's that time of year. So everything is being fruitful and multiplying. So follow nature, right?
I'm going to let you hang on to that. Keep that over there.
Fruitful and multiply.
For the time being. But it does sound like I'm going to have a great time at the farmer's market tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have all of these seasonal plants coming to harvest.
Yes. There should be some great lettuce growing. Leafy greens are loving this weather before it gets too hot in the summer. So remember to eat fresh. You still got time to plant your seeds. Plant your seeds, grow your food. It's nothing like eating out your own backyard.
Right. Or if you're like me, go to the farmer's market and eat out of someone else's backyard.
Exactly. That's why other people grow, right? That's good.
No, I mean, that is great. I think that's, actually my dad had gotten on this kick, I want to say maybe like 2-3 years ago, and he did a sermon series of that everything in your life should be fruitful. So he took down our hedges, I think we had ficus, and he replaced them with cocoa plums. So if you are looking for a fruitful type of hedge, cocoa plums are actually a great, because they look beautiful, and then you can have the cocoa plums, and literally every tree now in our yard, I want to say with the exception of or in their yard, I don't live there anymore.
That's always a yard.
With the exception of a couple of flowers, all bear fruit, literally.
Edible landscaping. Like, why would you grow something that you can't eat unless it's for its beauty? There's things that we'll just grow to make us feel good, but edible landscaping, that's the way. Get rid of the grass and plant something else that you could eat, right?
Yeah.
Because we're not goats, so we don't eat grass. So here we are, it's another fabulous Friday. Before we go on, I got a couple of announcements. So first, I want to send a special happy birthday to Nika Hannah, who hopefully is tuning in, but happy Earth Day and blessings for another lap around the sun. And also happy Earth Day to Mo, wherever you are. I hear you're deep in Canada. Happy birthday. Hope you're not too cold and that you're turning into the show. And then on the flip side, I have to send condolences to the family and friends of Dr. Paul DeLuca, personal friend of mine, and also very important person here. He's originally from Canada. He's a lecturer at the University of the Bahamas, but he's an entomologist by trade, which means he studied insects. And he's worked along with the Bahamas National Trust and with other conservation organizations to help to educate Bahamians and the next generation of entomologists. The thing he taught me was about his work, buzz pollination. So he studied the way that insects speak to one another. And it's the first time in my life that I actually heard what it sounds like when two insects speak to one another. It's very interesting. Paul, we're going to miss you. We love you. So many memories to share, but condolences goes out to your family and friends. We're going to miss you, Brother DeLuca.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's my boy. Wait. So we got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking to the Bahamas Customs Department and their new app, and we're also going to find out why Pelican Bay is called the Happy Hotel.
I'll tell you why. It's beautiful. We're also highlighting phenomenal women who have made significant contributions to our country. For the last day of Women's History Month, TCL also wants you to save the date for the Eleuthera Business Outlook coming up Thursday, April 20th at the Eleuthera Chamber of Commerce Business Hub in Rock Sound. The conference will be hybrid, so you can join virtually or in person. But first, we'll have a check on weather, and filling in for Godfrey Burnside is Ian McKenzie from the Department of Meteorology, who is joining us by phone.
This is Weather at Sunrise.
Good morning, guys, and good morning, Bahamas. Here's your first look at weather at sunrise for this Friday, the 31st of March, 2023. Currently across our area, we're under the influence of a building high-pressure system. This will continue to produce brisk winds and choppy seas across our area, while the previously cold front that moved through the area is going to stall out pretty much across the southeast Bahamas. Looking at the weather across the Capital today, partly sunny, windy, and warm, getting up to a high of about 84. Dipping down tonight to 70 Fahrenheit with a few clouds and mild conditions. Your 5-day weather outlook looks like this for Saturday, mostly sunny, breezy, and warm, getting up to a high of 86 with a low of 68 Fahrenheit. On Sunday, weather will be partly cloudy, warm with a few showers as we expect another cold front in the vicinity. Temperature getting up to 86, low dipping down to 73 Fahrenheit. And on Monday, again turning mostly sunny and warm, high of 84 Fahrenheit, low of 72. Tuesday, mostly sunny and warm, 84 high, low of 70. And on Wednesday, partly sunny, breezy, and warm, temperature getting up to 84 again and a low of about 70. Looking at our regional temperatures in the Caribbean, Barbados getting up to 85 or 75, Jamaica 84, 75, Trinidad, the hot spot, 90, low of 75, and friends and neighbors to the South Turks and Caicos, 86 or 70 on the Fahrenheit. France in North America and Atlanta, 77 or 64, Boston, 50 or 37 for the low, Miami, 81 or 75, Dallas, 84 and 52 for the low, and our friends to the north, Toronto, getting up to a high of 45 and a low of 41. That puts a wrap on your first look at weather. Back to the show.
Thanks, Ian. March is Women's History Month, and we are closing out the month with another phenomenal Bahamian woman. Our next guest is our first guest rather, is an experienced financial auditor who has worked with various investment vehicles in onshore and offshore markets, including hedge funds, private equity funds, and private banks. Additionally, she actively supports outreach programs that help underprivileged children and their families in the Bahamas. With us now is Michele Thompson, Ernst & Young Bahamas Country Managing Partner, Regional Assurance Leader, EY Region of the Bahamas, Bermuda, British Virgin Islands, and Cayman Islands.
Very long time.
That is a mouthful. That is a mouthful, but that just speaks to your position. Good morning and
Good morning.
welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about your career journey.
Oh, wow. So I graduated back in 1986 from UWI. And I want to start there because when I first came home, UWI was not known as one of those colleges for accounting.
Yeah.
You know, you heard about doctors, you heard about lawyers, you didn't hear about accountants. So when I first started interviewing for jobs, one or two of the large firms weren't too familiar with the curriculum. And so I went to work with Bahamas Development Bank, which I had done for summers. One of my best friends then, Kendall and Cartwright, says, hey, let me take you to Cross and Thomas Arthur Young and meet with Philip Galanis. And Phil interviewed with me. He himself wasn't familiar, but he took it upon himself to say, let's send you off to an evaluation center. More than qualified to sit the exams. It was all about whether or not you can qualify to sit the CPA. And that came back absolutely, and he hired me on the spot. So that was really the beginning of my career. I became a partner in 2001. I moved to the Cayman Islands in 2010 when I got the regional assurance managing partner role. And at that time, the firms had sort of integrated about 4 years prior and became the regional firm of Cayman, Bahamas, Bermuda, and later on the British Virgin Islands. I came back home in 2012 when the then managing partner was retiring, Hubert Chipman. He was going into politics. So I became the country managing partner at that time in 2012. And here I am today. I was recently promoted to the regional managing partner elect, which I will take up in July 1st, and function across all of those locations, but in a higher role. So it's been quite a ride.
So this seems, and of course, you know, when you hear the highlight version of these stories, it just seems like rising, rising, rising. You got on a ladder to success and you just rose through the ranks. But what were the guiding principles that took you through that process?
I think really always just being true to myself, embracing my strengths, but also recognizing what my weaknesses were. Integrity, always trying to do the right thing, making sure I put the right thing first. I think those were some of the bigger ones. Commitment, focus, discipline, clearly were some of those other characteristics that helped me along the way.
Being able to perform at a high level usually speaks to a deep personal investment. What is it that you love about your work that makes you want to thrive?
I love the people. At Ernst & Young, we don't make products. We have people. We drive services. And so I think what keeps me getting up every morning is really working with the young persons that come. They're so innovative and creative, so I learn something new every day. It's working with my peers, my partners across the region. It's great. It's more like a family, more so than a job. So I view it in that vein, and that really makes it a lot more enjoyable. And the persons that I work for, that are out of New York global offices, I think they just make it very interesting. I feel recognized, I feel appreciated. So I really enjoy going to work because it's different. And then the clients, it's a diverse group of clients that we work for. And so again, it's learning something new every day.
Who are some of those people who've really had an influence on your career?
I would say first and foremost, my dad has inspired me. He had qualities that he instilled in us growing up, such as the focus I spoke about, the discipline, the commitment to doing the right thing. I think he was a huge inspiration. Both my parents were. And through my career, certainly earlier in my career, Maria Ferrer, who was the first female partner for the Bahamas, she worked at Arthur Young, Ernst & Young, and she has been a phenomenal mentor, coach, and support throughout my career. So I must say she's been a huge inspiration for me.
You touched kind of on it, just having a wonderful mentor. What is the value of mentorship, particularly for women who are seeking to rise through the ranks?
I think it's invaluable. I think women come across challenges throughout their careers that sometimes differ than the way a man would advance through his career. And sometimes you need someone just to help you through those conversations, those situations that may arise. And I'll also say it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman. I've had a mentor out of the Bermuda office who was the managing partner. He's now retired. And if it hadn't been for him, as well as the managing partner in Cayman, it would have been quite challenging just moving along and working through a lot of situations. So I think it's absolutely critical that you have a mentor, a coach of support.
Were there any specific challenges that you felt you experienced because you were a woman?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I think, yeah, you have the sense that sometimes it's a bit of a boys' club. When you're around, you're in a boardroom and you're the only woman. And so those are challenges that arise regularly and often. So it's those are the situations where you sort of lean to your mentors and your coaches and your support and have the conversation and get a better understanding in terms of how do I navigate through certain situations and circumstances. So they will arise throughout everyone's career, I believe, especially as a woman. And it's just a matter of understanding how do you navigate, who can I turn to for that support.
The financial services industry, if you're going to rise through the ranks, it takes a lot of long hours. How do you find a balance between your work life and your personal life?
Yeah, that's a question that's come up so often because we are challenged with it, especially in the public accounting profession. Right now we're in busy season and crazy hours. They're like 70-hour work weeks. Family. You have to have a strong family support system that helps you through. And I will also say an organization that recognizes and understands the value of flexibility for women that want to have a career and also have a family. So an organization such as Ernst & Young really has been phenomenal in that regard. We recognize that women need that time to do the things that are important to them, as well as giving them the opportunity to excel in their work.
And finally, what advice would you have for young women? Because we are going to make this about women today, since it's Women's Month. What advice do you have for young women starting out in their career journey?
I would say be passionate about what it is you choose to do, because it should be a career, not a job. So you really should have a passion and a keen interest in what you're doing. Make sure it's something that you continue to evolve in. Make sure you can bring some ideas and be innovative in what it is you're doing and contribute towards building something better. You know, our value system at Ernst & Young is all around building a better worker world. That's our purpose. So I would say if you take that mindset to what you're doing, then I think you'll be absolutely successful.
I love that. Passion breeds excellence.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us, and happy last day of International Women's Month to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Attention customers, next Tuesday, a major hurricane will cause complete confusion and chaos throughout the entire Bahamas. Water, phone, and internet services will be in short supply. Definite data loss is expected to all local and family island businesses.
Disasters don't plan ahead, but you can. Be ready with push-to-talk service that keeps you connected with your workforce with a simple push of a button. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Island.
Wouldn't it be satisfying to own your own piece of paradise? The most important investment you can make in your life is real estate, and Fidelity has the solution for you. You could become the owner of a home or a lot on any of our beautiful islands.
Come and talk to a loan officer and inquire about how you can fund your goals with a loan today.
Because we know it means a lot to own a lot. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit any of our branches, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 for Freeport.
Hi, I'm Ria Christina, and I'm super excited to be the new host of You and Your Money, local international banks that has actually been closing some of their branches. It actually gives me an opportunity to share my views, my take on the financial matters. Even when we think about what's happening globally, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of having to educate business owners as to the importance, the economic impact, and how it is that we can look at improving the Bahamian economy. $1 billion. That's how much we spend every year importing food in this country. It also gives me an opportunity to have conversations, and that's meaningful conversations with thought leaders within our community, even having to see how it is that we can work together, or even the opportunities that may exist for many Bahamians. So I'm excited to be here and looking forward to the great conversations that's to come.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Welcome back. The Bahamas Customs Department has developed a new app that makes custom declarations simple and saves us time during our trip. Here to tell us this morning about this app is Jeremiah Taylor and Doyle Burrows, customs officers with the Bahamas Customs and Excise Department. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you all for being up there early, although I feel like that's a part of your job anyway. Does customs ever sleep?
No.
Customs never sleep.
Never
So
sleep.
thank you both for being here. So we want to talk about this app. What is the name of the Bahamas Customs newest app?
The name of the app is Exempt. It's made by Bahamians, for Bahamians, and it has been around for about three years now.
Yeah?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the app and how it works.
Okay, so the app is a one-time sign-up. Everyone will be required to sign up for the app. It can be found in both the Google Play Store or the iOS Store. Passengers will be able to create their C-17 declarations, the paper forms that we use now through the airport. You'll be able to create your forms digitally now.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm so attached to that piece of paper. We land, we get into baggage claim, we head straight to the little table,
Right.
and then you fill out this form. I feel like we filled out 1,000 times. So I guess this is why the app is necessary, right?
Well, one of the things the app does that saves us time. Rather than having to wait until you get into customs to fill out that paper form that we love so much, the app allows you to fill out this form from anywhere in the world. It also allows you to pay from anywhere in the world, and it reduces the amount of time that you have to spend in customs.
Once again, who wants to be hanging around in customs for hours, right?
Correct.
So the app is simple. It helps to save time and also be a bit more transparent from your side. I can't imagine it's easy to sift through those forms and decipher and
Exactly.
pull out receipts and all that.
Handwriting, spelling, it's difficult. So now the app is around. Everything should be consistent. It is easy. You are able to select from the categories, whether it be clothing, snacks, whatever it may be. It's available to us in the app.
Wow. So, we fill out the app, let's say when we're coming in on the plane and we get into customs. So we just pull out our phone and flash it at you guys and
Right.
press a button and all is well?
Yes. Once you pull out the phone, we have a QR code, and the officers can scan the QR code that will upload your form for us to peruse, and we'll be able to look at your invoices, search your bags, everything good. You're straight out of the hall.
Are we also able to pay through the app?
Yes, it allows you to pay. There's an online payment function that allows you to pay with a debit or credit card. We know that persons that don't use debit or credit cards, some of us, and so you also have the option to pay in person at customs.
So you can pay in person at customs. So giving you all the options, all the ways to get through this exercise. How has the app been received to date?
It had its challenges originally when it started out. However, we continually take advice from users, and we have some consistent users. Surprisingly, we have a lot of visitors that have been using the app to make declarations, and we have some Bahamians that consistently use it every time that they travel. But again, some people are apprehensive about using the app, but it only gives to you what you put in.
Right.
Okay, so it's easy to use, it is quick, it is efficient.
What kind of feedback have you been getting from customers who use it?
Well, we've been got a lot of positive feedback. There's one lady, she uses it all the time, and she brags about how she doesn't have to spend any long hours in customs. And as soon as she lands, she shows her phone with the QR code. The officer does their check, and she's out of there within minutes.
Does the app track your exemption, and can I go back and look at my data and see everything I've brought in, and I guess that's also helpful.
The app tracks your exemption. You know exactly how many exemptions you would have used for the year. It also deducts from the highest quantity, so when you use your exemption, you don't have to worry about, okay, this is 10%, but this taking the value from, no, it removes from the higher rate values first, and then you'll pay on the lower rates.
So my understanding of exemption was you have a passport, you're a traveler, each person has a certain level of exemption, right? No matter your age.
Right.
So with this app, will I have to have an app for each person that's traveling, or you just have different user profiles?
Okay, it's different user profiles. Different user profiles. Kids can register under their parents' profiles, and they'll be attached to their parents' profile. But if they travel otherwise, we have methods that we can use to separate them from the profile so they can use their exemption if need be.
That's good. You know, that exemption is important. I have 4 children. That's A lot of exemption right there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you're keeping track of that. Do you think this app will become mandatory for Bahamians to use, or you'll still have a choice between that and the paper?
Yes. Beginning on June 12th, the app will be mandatory for Bahamians from Bimini to Nagua to use.
Bimini to Nagua. All right, that sounds good. In the airport, is there a kiosk where you might be able to use a platform to maybe access the app? Let's say you don't have a phone, you don't have a laptop. Is there a kiosk that you can use?
Yes, there are kiosks that are going to be set up in all of the airports and all of the islands to ensure that persons who may not have mobile devices, they can still use the app and they can still present their declarations to customs.
So for those who may have nothing to declare, you take the form, you put your name and your address, and then just put nothing to declare across that. How simple is it with the app? How do you do that?
Well, the app has a checkbox. So if you don't have anything to declare, you can just check the checkbox and submit your declaration, but you must submit through the app.
Yes. So I'm interested, when you do things on paper, it's hard to analyze and look at the data. I would imagine if you've now had, this app in operation for about 3 years, what does the data say? Like, what are we bringing into the country? Maybe you already know that because your customers are like, what do people bring in? What's the top 3 things?
Clothing.
Clothing, shoes, electronics.
Clothing, shoes, electronics. Yeah, that sounds about right, Coming through the airport, you're declaring multiple items. You have your suitcase nicely packed. You're hoping that maybe the customs officer doesn't select you and grill you too hard. But this app should make it all easier. Everybody should be more pleasant. The line isn't as long. And once again, you're collecting the data. Right. So before we wrap up, anything else you want to say to our viewers about the app?
Okay, most importantly, this app is user-friendly. It is available to you. You can search your tariff rates. You can fill out your declaration before you even land here. Pay your duty. You know exactly how much it is that you have to pay the customs. You don't have to guess now whether the custom officer is going to charge me 45% or 10%. Everything is already calculated for you, so you know exactly what it is that you are paying to the government of the Bahamas.
Perfect. And tell our viewers again where they can find this app and how to download it and register.
The app is available in both the Google Play Store and the iOS Apple Store. You just go in there, you search for Exempt, and you'll see it's the first app that pops up. It should be Exempt.
Perfect. Well, we want to thank you both for being up with us dead early this morning. I know you probably got lots to do, lots of exemptions to look at, but it's easier with the app. So I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, both Jeremiah Taylor and Doyle Burrows for being here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for all that you do, and looking forward to downloading this app and using my exemption this year. Thank you both for being on the show. You're watching Mamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
The Euro device is very affordable. It allows you to increase your internet connectivity. You are able to do away with the buffering, say goodbye to the dead spots. It gives them a much more stable connection. Their customers are able to view their digital menus. The establishment is able to stream. It allows for everyone, the customers and the business operators, to have a much more robust and stable internet connectivity.
One thing, two things, blue thing, old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
And welcome back to the show. We are here at the Mid Show, here on this fantastic Friday. Thank you for sticking with us so far. My name is Mark Daniels, and this is
Gabrielle Gardner.
Because we're running around here, we're talking to people. It's so exciting. There's a lot going on here in the studio. You guys have no idea what happens behind the camera, behind the scenes. We got the production team working. We got the team upstairs, the admin team. We've got people moving in and out of the studio. We got the cameramen who are busy. So there's a lot going on, right? It's not just Gabrielle and I. It's a whole team of us here at TCL. And so shout out to the whole team keeping us together, right? Especially Uncle Terrence, he's cracking the whip for us, right?
Yeah.
Well, we had a good first half of the show. I enjoyed that talk with Customs, talking about the new app, how it works, how it's going to help us save time, and possibly money, as we go through customs and declare. And you had a great interview, right?
I did. I had a wonderful conversation with Michele Thompson. She was talking about her career journey through the ranks at Ernst & Young. So it's been a great time to just enjoy, the last day of International Women's Month.
Yeah, it's the last day, but we keep celebrating women all year long, right? I said to one of my coworkers the other day, when it was International Women's Day, our company at Braun, we usually do an event where the women would go and speak or do some sort of outreach. And I made a joke. I said, wow, we need an International Man Day. And they was like, every day is Man's Day.
Well, actually, fun fact, there is an International Men's Day.
When is it?
But I think it's like November 18th. But I found out because they said people start Googling when is International Men's Day on International Women's Day. Yeah. So guys, see, the problem is men don't have functions. Yeah. That's why they don't get celebrated. Women, we will celebrate ourselves. You didn't need any men to celebrate International Women's Month. We will have a party all month long. But the men, if you leave it to them, let's just say when men throw parties. Hey. Like they don't believe in functions with the same enthusiasm. So I think, if you are a man and you feel International Men,
it's going to be the biggest International Man Them Day ever. Challenge accepted. Watch for November. I want nobody coming around saying, we know what International Women's Day is. It's Demand Them Day in November. But thank you all for sticking with us. We've got more coming up in our second half. We're going to be looking at a clip from Pelican Bay to figure out why is it such a happy place. Right?
Absolutely. We'll also be talking with yet another phenomenal woman who's made a significant contribution to our country as we wrap up Women's History Month. But before all that, we'll have a second look at weather with Ian McKenzie.
This is Weather at Sunrise.
Thanks, Gabrielle. Here's your look at your marine forecast. For your beachgoers, we have rip currents out there, so we're advising you to take extra caution, mainly along the north and east coast beaches. Your winds today will be out of the northeast-east at 15 to 25 knots, with seas running 5 to 8 feet over the ocean in the northwest and central islands, and northeast-east at 15 to 20 knots, with seas running 4 to 7 feet over the ocean in the southeast Bahamas. Saturday, seas still a little choppy. Winds will be out of the southeast to south at 15 knots, seas 3 to 5 over the northwest and central islands, and east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots, with seas running 4 to 7 feet over the southeast Bahamas. Outlook for Sunday, winds calm down a bit, variable at 10 knots or less, with seas running 1 to 3 feet over all areas. Your tides will be low at 11 or 8 a.m., high at 5 p.m. this afternoon, low again tonight at 11:04 p.m. The sun will set at 7:24 p.m. this evening and rise tomorrow morning at 7:01 a.m. We have a UV index of 8. The water temperature is nice, warm, 77 Fahrenheit, and we're in the first quarter of the moon phase. That puts a wrap on your weather. Back to the show.
Thanks, Ian. We are highlighting outstanding women, Bahamian women, all month long, especially today, for Women's History Month. With us now is Tonya Bastian Galanis, Principal and Course Director of Ethics, Rights, Obligations of the Legal Profession at the Eugene DePuch Law School. Mrs. Galanis is a graduate of UWI and the Norman Manley Law School with multiple degrees, including a Bachelor of Laws, with an honor and master's of corporate law and commercial law. She was admitted to the Bahamas Bar in 1985, and she's an active member of several civic and community organizations. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning, thank you. Happy to be here.
So off screen, I found out that you know my mom very well.
Yes, we are proud graduates of St. John's College. Go Giants, class of 78, dare I say it.
Right. Well, you look fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So tell us a little bit about your career journey.
Well, as you noted, I am a graduate of the University of the West Indies. In fact, I was at Cave Hill the same time as your earlier guest, Michele Thompson was there. People thought we were sisters. Yeah. And after that, I went to the Norman Manley Law School, Then I began my professional career in the Office of the Attorney General, went through the departments there, a little time in prosecution, civil, landed in legislative drafting. I spent most of my career there in the office. I then went to the Eugene DePucci Law School and was established in 1998, started as a tutor there and became principal of the law school in 2008.
Wow. What was your passion as it related to education?
Curiously, I didn't know that I would land in education. I should have had a hint of it though. When I was little, I used to play school with the soda bottles that my grandmother used in her shop. But I think it's the idea of being involved in molding talent and just being in what I think is a creative space.
What are the principles that have guided you across your entire career?
First, producing work that is of a high standard, quality work. And that requires commitment to the craft, dedication, doing the necessary research. Then ensuring that your team members are valued. So your work is, you want your work to be valued, but you also want to value your team members and their work and respecting them and their output and input. And then being flexible and open to change. We heard in this new COVID environment the word pivot a lot. So being able to pivot. But I think fundamentally working with integrity and ensuring that your efforts reflect a very high level of integrity.
So you've worked in multiple, I guess, areas of the field of law. Why is law so special to you?
That's a good question. I didn't always want to be a lawyer. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a dancer, in fact. I did. And I landed in law because I had the skills that enabled me to do it and to do it well. I actually, when I left the College of the Bahamas, I applied to do to various universities to do international relations, to do interior design, and to UE to do law. And frankly, I ended up at UE because I was on tour with my dance company, missed the other deadlines, and got to law. I think I would have ended up in law eventually, not just as soon as I did. My journey through the law has been absolutely amazing. Studying in a regional institution was incredible, and I appreciate every moment of it and the contribution that I've been able to make through it.
As a woman in law, as well as leading a department in a law school, have there been any challenges that were unique to you as a woman?
I've thought about this question. I'm not unaware that there are glass ceilings, but I think the women who came before me broke them in my profession, and so I didn't encounter them. Even when I found myself in situations where I was the first woman there, it didn't occur to me that I was unable to do that work. I didn't feel disrespected or unappreciated in the role.
Do you think in our modern society there may be too many conversations? Do we bring it to the forefront, the challenges that women face, whereas if we ignored it, we would be better off?
No, I don't. Because there are some things that we are still negatively impacted by. We don't have to have that conversation here, about constitutional rights affecting women or not affecting them. And so, yeah, I think the conversations continue to be important. I think that we can't ignore the strides that the women before me who paved the way made, the important contributions that they made, so women like me don't have to feel so affected by them. So the conversations continue to be important.
Now, of course, you are, again, well-versed in the law, but for someone who's a layperson who wants to affect tangible change, like you said, on a constitutional or a legal level for women, what are things that the everyday person can do?
I think it's easy to say familiarize yourself with the law, but that seems very sort of unapproachable. But I think that they should take advantage of opportunities to learn more about the law and their environments, legal environments that they're placed in. And so attend seminars and workshops. I think those would be helpful.
So, in the legal profession, on so many levels, I'm sure that's extremely demanding as it relates to your schedule. How do you create a work-life balance?
Faith, taking time for myself, family, they keep it real. Friends, I have an amazing network of sister friends. Fitness, working out consistently, and eating good, nutritious, healthy food.
Do you think people underestimate the value of a support system in a thriving career?
Do people underestimate? I don't know if people do, but I don't. I think it's critical. You need that network of support. You need people to encourage you. You need people you can vent with. You need people to share your journey with. And you need people that you can feed on and you can, cheer on as well.
When you look back on your career journey thus far, what has been most rewarding?
I think the fact that I find myself in a creative and learning environment. So being able to be in a space where I'm able to continue to learn, and also being in that role, being able to influence and have a part in the training of people who go on to make contributions, not only in this community, but regionally, because our law school is a regional institution. And so that's really rewarding when I look back and see the important contributions that they are now making.
And of course, once again, in honor of International Women's Month, what advice would you give to a young lady starting in any career path for a successful career journey?
I think I go back to the values that I hold dear: high ethical standards, consistent quality of work, working hard, not being afraid to get it wrong, spending time with oneself, and giving yourself grace. I think that young people need not fear making a mistake and allowing themselves to be gracious in it and working through it.
I love it. Give yourself grace.
Yes.
Even at the highest levels.
Of course.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It's great to have been here. Thank you.
And thank you for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize applications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away.
You watch them grow and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk. You spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At Leno, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, Leno's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security in retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. Leno, your bridge to the future.
So the push-to-talk device is a beautiful device. It operates on our world-class cellular network. You can take pictures, you can take videos, you can put your persons in different groups. If they want the engineering team to have a different communication than the finance team or the security team, you can do that with the push-to-talk device. And that's not something that you can actually do with a regular communications radio device. We have several different types of devices. There's the 380, the 580 plus, and then there's the 590 plus, which is the top of the line device.
Hi, I'm Ria Christina, and I'm super excited to be the new host of You and Your Money, a local international bank that has actually been closing some of their branches. It actually gives me an opportunity to share my views, my take on the financial matters. Even when we think about what's happening globally, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of having to educate business owners as to the importance, the economic impact, and how it is that we can look at improving the Bahamian economy. $1 billion. That's how much we spend every year importing food in this country. It also gives me an opportunity to have conversations, and that's meaningful conversations with thought leaders within our community, even having to see how it is that we can work together or even the opportunities that may exist for many Bahamians. So I'm excited to be here and looking forward to the great conversations that's to come.
Welcome back. Pelican Bay Hotel in Grand Bahama offers modern comfort and convenience with a uniquely happy and laid-back vibe. Our Suzette Parker has that story. Enjoy.
Bahamas at Sunrise was in Grand Bahama recently and visited the delightful one-of-a-kind resort, Pelican Bay, located in beautiful Lucaya. We spoke with General Manager Magnus Alnebeck about the property.
We're trying to create a vibe where people feel comfortable. Obviously, we are not on a beach, we are on the marina, the canals. So we are trying to create an environment that you just feel that you are in a small, peaceful, laid-back place. And the structure of Pelican Bay is good for that because it's really 3 clusters, so you don't feel that this is a big hotel.
The resort boasts newly renovated guest rooms and suites.
We started a repair and renovation program immediately after Dorian because we had, like everybody, we had substantial damage. And in the beginning that was concentrating on repairing stuff. And then we decided, okay, let's do a bigger renovation, and we totally gutted 48 of our suites and put them back together again with everything from new air conditioning, new hot water system, and totally new rooms. Laid-back place. And the structure of Pelican Bay is good for that because it's really 3 clusters, so you don't feel that this is a big hotel.
The resort boasts newly renovated guest rooms and suites.
We started a repair and renovation program immediately after Dorian. Because we had, like everybody, we had substantial damage. And in the beginning that was concentrating on repairing stuff. And then we decided, okay, let's do a bigger renovation, and we totally gutted 48 of our suites and put them back together again with everything from new air conditioning, new hot water system, and totally new rooms. That took much longer than we had hoped because of stop and start construction during COVID, supply chain, etc. So that's what we opened here in end of January, and we are now again fully operational with everything open. These new rooms we did, they are of course bigger, so they have a separate bedroom, a big living room, and out of the 48 we did 24 of them as what we call long stay rooms. So we put in a real kitchenette with a bigger refrigerator, with a dishwasher, to make it comfortable for the sort of people that come to Grand Bahama and are maybe here for a project for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and who doesn't want to go into an apartment. They want a combination of a hotel and an apartment.
Pelican Bay is the happy hotel with staff that care about the guests, and that's what sets them apart from the competition.
You know, in today's hotel world, and Pelican Bay is a relatively old hotel. I mean, our buildings are now 25 to 32 years old or something like that. So, you know, these things that what can set you aside? Well, you know, a clean room and new furniture and good food and cold drinks, that's just something that the guest expects. So what can set you aside is if you can actually portray our happiness, and that we try to make our guests feel that we actually care. And that is really what we focus on, showing that we care about guests and their stay, whether they are coming here for business or for vacation or to attend a funeral or a wedding. We need to make sure that they realize that we are a happy hotel.
The staff are empowered to solve customers' problems and ensure guest satisfaction.
We share all of our customer feedback in any way we get it, in a very open, frank, smack in the face kind of way with our staff. And of course we focus more on the times when we have not been as good as we would have liked to have been. And we try to make sure that our staff buys into our philosophy, which is solve the problem. Don't make it into something that ends up as a bad comment on TripAdvisor. You know, if a guest isn't happy or if we have fallen short of what we should do, own up to it. Look the guest in the face and say, what can we do to make up for this? And try to turn the guest around there and then, as opposed to letting them go back home and starting writing letters or putting it on TripAdvisor. And therefore, you know, we like to delegate to our staff that they feel that they can make decisions. They can actually make sure that the guest is happy. And then, you know, if we feel that they have done something wrong, then we bring that up later on and say, okay, maybe next time you should consider doing that. But at the end of the day, it's the staff member that is in front of a guest that is best handled to deal with a situation, as opposed to, oh, I'll report it to the manager and they will give you a call. It doesn't work.
Pelican Bay prides itself on being loyal to the Grand Bahama community.
Well, I think we have always done what we have said that we are going to do. And I think our actions speaks for themselves. During and after both Hurricane Matthew and Hurricane Dorian, we remained open, especially after Dorian, but also Matthew. Pelican Bay became sort of the center of activity in Grand Bahama. And we operated this hotel for, I think it was 11 or 12 days without power, without water, which was kind of a nightmare. But we needed to do that to keep things going. And we have also done what very few people have done in Grand Bahama, is that we have kept on reinvesting in the property. We haven't taken the insurance money and run away with them. And that sets us a little bit apart from what's going on here. So I think, you know, we have been loyal to the Grand Bahama and the Bahamian community, and they have been loyal to us back. I think they see us as part of of the infrastructure, part of the community, and that's how we really fit in.
Pelican Bay is offering a special rate to locals for Easter.
We have special rates for locals all the time. That depends on, what's going on that weekend and how much we can accommodate, and we do specials here and there. For Easter, we have a special this year where we have basically put together a package that comes down to that you pay for 2 nights and you get 3. And we have also made it very simple, which is it's a family rate, but I hope nobody's going to bring their 24 children and try to pile them into one room. But we have said it's a family rate, it's for a room, it is 3 nights, it is $500, it includes breakfast, it includes some Easter goodies and some surprises. And we think that's a good deal for anybody who wants to come to Grand Bahama and Pelican Bay.
For Bahamas at Sunrise, this is Suzette Parker, wishing she was still at Pelican Bay.
One thing, 2 things. Blue thing, all things. Things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at
And that's going to do it for our show today. We had just a fantastic show. We got to celebrate some incredible women doing incredible things. We got to learn about customs, which is one of those things that all Bahamians need to know and need to know well. And it's great to see that they're digitizing, just moving the way forward. Just as well as learning about Pelican Bay. It's great to see hotels in Grand Bahama still doing great things, still trying to provide excellent service.
And it is a happy place. The colors, just looking at that video, the colors make me feel better. I want to go stay there. I want to go lay out by the pool and lounge and forget all my troubles and worries. So I think I might pop over there. I got family in Grand Bahama.
Yeah,
Look
it's
out
definitely
for
worth it.
Yeah. This weekend, hopefully you've got some plans this weekend to have some downtime, work in the yard, plant your seeds, get your food growing. It's a little windy, so you may not go to the beach, but get some sunshine on your face, What are you up to this weekend?
I will say, we really should take advantage of our local art galleries. There is Turn Gallery at the Island House. We have, of course, the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, as well as the Echo and Current at Bahamar. Guys and girls, this is a free date. A free date that sounds super sophisticated. So definitely you want to do that. Since you're not going to the beach this weekend, check out one of our local art galleries. Bahamian artists are doing some incredible things. That's probably what I'm going to be doing.
After the farmer's market, right?
Naturally.
Well, this weekend, my twins, Onyx and Luna, they will be turning 1. Give thanks for life and the fullness thereof. They're taking their first lap around the sun. Congratulations to my wife for just being an awesome woman and an inspiration. We're going to live it up this weekend. We'll probably share some pictures with you on Monday, so stay tuned if you want some babiness in your face. Aww. You guys can meet the babies, all right? Enjoy your weekend.
Have a great week.
And we'll see you on Monday.